were to shoot a 250 beat, she would get plus 50. If she were to shoot a 150 beat, that would give her minus 50. We'll add up the pluses and minuses. That number will be updated game by game for the players as they make their way around the house during the competition. In addition, we will update our big board down at the high end of the center. We will also update our website, bowl.com, as quickly as we can at the conclusion of each game. The 2018 USBC Senior Queens. Good luck, ladies.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Las Vegas in the Gold Coast Hotel and Casino. This is the 2018 United States Bowling Congress as Senior Queens qualifying getting underway. My name is Aaron Smith with USBC Communications, and we will be bringing you wire-to-wire coverage of the 2018 event, kicking off with today's opening round of 5 games. A total of 15 games of qualifying will determine the 31 players advancing, along with defending champion Lucy Sandlin, to the double elimination match play bracket. From the bracket, we'll get down to our top 5 players and conclude on Sunday evening at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 local time here in Las Vegas, with the stepladder finals once again right here on Bowl TV. Pretty awesome way to kick off the day. We're starting off with a pair of Hall of Famers on 43 and 44, and Robin Romeo and Jeannie Nacarado. Romeo up on lane of 44 right now, a three-time champion here at the Senior Queens, won in 2014, 2015, and 2016, before being denied a 4th consecutive title in 2017 in Baton Rouge. For Jeannie, has already found some success in Las Vegas this week, having recently won the National Golden Ladies Classic, which took place just across the way here in Las Vegas at the Orleans. Jeannie defeated top seed Lucy Sandlin in the finals, 203 to 190. So we'll see if the success can carry over to this event. Still looking for a first Senior Queens title. Also joining us on our featured pairs to kick things off today on 43 and 44. We have Julie Cook, who is up on lane 43 right now. Also joining on 43 and 44 is Debbie Essery. Also had a nice showing at the National Golden Ladies, making the stepladder finals. Our other featured pair, 45 and 46. We have Guadalupe Coparopa from Panama, Carol Jones, Elizabeth Wong, and Judith LaRue. The lane condition being used this week, 41 feet in length. The volume right around 25.5 mils, using the Kegel Fire Oil. Kegel, the official lane maintenance provider of USBC short duration events. So thank you to them, as well as all of our gold industry partners, Brunswick, Columbia 300, Ebonite, Hammer, Kegel, Rotogrip, and Storm, for all they do for the sport. Players got 15 minutes of practice prior to the start of competition. You got to see most of that here before we went live. And the place to be for information this week, if you just scroll down a little bit below the video, the very first line, you'll see find results and more here. Just go ahead and click on that link and that will take you right to the page where we'll have results, all the live stream links, oil pattern, lane schedule, so you can see when your favorite players are making their way to our featured pairs here, 43 through 46. Should be a pretty quick pace throughout the course of the entire house. Just one pair has 5 players on it. Every other pair with 4, so it should be a pretty quick place. We actually get 10 games total in today, so we will bowl this 5-game block. We'll take a quick break for lunch. And these competitors will be back on the lanes for their second block of 5 games, starting at approximately 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 local time here in Las Vegas. So we'll have a pretty good idea of how things are looking for that top 31 and or 32. We'll kick off match play tomorrow, right around 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 local time. And as mentioned, we'll continue to make our way through the bracket. 32 players in all, double elimination, until we get down to the top 5 for the step ladder. Nice mixer there for Jeannie, as she collects her 3rd strike in 4 frames. As you see, we don't have names up there at the moment, so we do ask that you follow the players based off of jerseys. You can see the letters coincide. For Julie, she's player A. Debbie is player D. Robin, player B. Jeannie, player C on 43 and 44. Carol Jones is B on 45. Judy is player D. Lupe is A, and Elizabeth is C. Our defending champion this year is 3-time Senior Queens champion and USBC Hall of Famer Lucy Sandlin. So Debbie delivers a nice shot there. For Lucy, just celebrated her 61st birthday yesterday, actually. Was hoping to cap it off with a win at the National Golden Ladies, an event that is still on her bucket list. But as we mentioned, fell short to Jeannie in the title match. But Lucy has won the Queens in 2007, 2013, and 2017. So between Lucy, Robin, and fellow Hall of Famer Sandy Postma, the only players in tournament history with 3 tiaras here. But definitely a lot of talented players in this field looking to potentially add a 1st tiara to their collection, maybe a 2nd, or maybe a 4th. Could have our first 4-time champion if Robin or Lucy is able to make it to the final match and win. There's some pretty talented folks looking for that first Senior Queens title, as well as we mentioned Jeannie already. Tish Johnson, who's been so close so many times here, including 4 runner-up finishes in a row between 2013 and 2016. Actually, might have been 5. Might have been runner-up in 2012 as well. Have to double check that. But Tish has been so close so many times. We have past champions like Paula Vidal and Char Hamill in the field as well. Char, the 2010 champion. Paula in 2011. Could be a newcomer on the scene like Debbie Essery here. As we mentioned, a nice showing at the National Golden Ladies. And I think the player, a lot of folks will be keeping their eye on a rookie out here. USBC Hall of Famer Leanne Holsenberg in the field this week. And actually a pair or two to our right to start off. Looks like we'll catch Leanne in our second block today. So there are just a few of the storylines. We have a few players joining us from Panama, Canada as well. Australia in the field. And I believe England as well. England on the list, so we got a great field, 81 players. One of the bigger fields we've seen here at the Senior Queens in the past few years. I think a lot of that has to do with working with the National Golden Ladies, getting the tournament out here at the same time, so players are able to make one trip, do a lot of bowling, and see if they can't take home a little prize money while they're at it. $8,000 on top here at the 2018 event to our overall champion. So with that in mind, everyone settle in. First of 5 games. Hitting the halfway point here across this 70-lane facility. Be sure to let folks know you're watching on social media. The USBC itself is the Sport of Bowling USBC on Facebook, at USBC on Twitter, and at US Bowling Congress on Instagram. Of course, we'll have a recap on bowl.com at the end of the day. If you like what you're watching, please give us a click on the thumbs up below the video, and be sure to subscribe to Bowl TV when you're all said and done as well. Taking a quick look around the 70-lane facility, checking out some early scores. There are a few players finding some strikes. So it didn't appear that we're going to have a 300 here in the early going, but saw a lot of folks working on 5, 6 in a row, getting into the 9th and 10th frames. Chance to get into the 250s, 260s right out of the gates. Get a good start on that right side of plus and working up that 15-game total. Once again, that's where you want to be when it's all said and done. Now, since we don't have an actual TV stepladder final here, this is a true double elimination tournament. So when we get down to the championship match, the top seed would have to lose twice in a row. So in last year, we saw Lucy Sandlin was the top seed. She faced off against Anne-Marie Dugan. Anne-Marie would have won the first match. There would have been a second one. Winner of that would have been a tournament champion. However, in last year's format, Lucy ended up taking that first game on her way to her 3rd Senior Queens crown. As Robin comes in a little bit light, she did make the stepladder finals last year in search for a 4th consecutive Senior Queens title. However, she was in the opening match, so she would have had to win technically 5 matches in a row. She ended up running into Panama's Edissa Andrade, and they ended up tying and took a 3-ball roll-off before Edissa was able to eliminate 3-time defending champion. Robin finished just outside the stepladder at the National Golden Ladies. She splits the 2-4-5, just like that.
It's got sticky gunk all over it. I have to clean it every time I throw it. It's just on this pair.
Romeo also was inducted into the PWBA Hall of Fame in 1996, winner of 17 professional titles, including Player of the Year in 1989. Jeannie, also a member of the PWBA Hall of Fame. A total of 10 titles to her credit. It's the 86 Player of the Year. We approach the twilight of game number 1. Let's see if we can find out who's going to be joining us in game 2. Looks like on 43 and 44. Julie Harrison from Australia and Kim Bradley Hannon will be part of our group. 45 and 46, Debbie Ayers and Mei Ling Billingsley. We'll also have Kim Crompton and Lynn Lewis, 43 and 44, and then Beth Owen Chipolowski Jackie Wyckoff and Carla Allsgood joining on 45 and 46. So that is our one pair with 5 players. So they'll be coming up next here in game 2. But before we get to that, 10th frame just about ready to be underway. Tough break there for Judy, getting to the pocket, but seeing a few pins stand. Elizabeth Wong's going to have a chance to bounce back after a split in the 9th frame. Still get to 231 this game. A few pairs to our right. We have a 280 start. Didn't catch who that was. I think that might have been Sharon Powers. As soon as we have an update for scores after 1, we will let you know for sure. Jeannie Nacarado kicks off the 10th frame with a strike. She can max out at 203. Pretty good shot there from Elizabeth. 10 pin doesn't cooperate. So it's 221 out there. Lupe can max out at 175. She's going to be up on 46 momentarily. Tough break for Jeannie. Second shot at 10th. And drop her down into the 190s. Julie working on a strike in the 9th. She could throw a few more, get into the 160s. Ooh, just enough there, Elizabeth. Never a doubt. Having some fun with her fellow competitors. She wasn't scared though.
What lane am I going to next?
Nice shot to finish it off. Elizabeth Wong, 221. Just going to have the high game on our featured pair. Or featured pairs, I should say. So we do have multiple. Lupe with the spare, 165. Judy can get to 169 with a few strikes. Julie looking to get that one to hook a little bit. Got the first strike in the 10th. Covered up to get to 153. Judy LaRue had a good showing last year in Baton Rouge. Pretty close trip for her. Native of Louisiana. Won a couple of matches, made a run. Julie takes care of the spare, finishes with 1 at 53. Tebby working on 1 strike. See if she can add 1 more. It's going to have a chance to get up the hill. Pushes just a little too much though. Leaves the 210. Carol Jones leaves the 245 on 46. She can max out at 159. Same max for Judy. Robin Romeo gets the 10 to kick out. Debbie finishes at 198. Carol Jones won at 58. Robin Romeo's second shot up at 10th. That one's left. But left enough. Crosses over. Take them when you can get them. All right, nice 219 for Robin Romeo. She leads the way on 43 and 44. Elizabeth Wong, 221 high game on 45 and 46. As we mentioned, we saw 280. I believe that was Sharon Powers with the strong start. As players begin to move around, we will prepare for game number 2. So everyone hang tight. Opening round of coverage 2018 USBC Senior Queens underway.
Black bag.
All right, game 2 already underway on 45 and 6. Just about ready to get things underway on 43 and 44. Saw some 7-10s last game, and there's unfortunately making an appearance here in game 2 as well. Debbie Ayers, just starting with a strike, runs into trouble with the 7-10. She's player C. Jackie Wyckoff up on 45. She'll be player B this game. Beth Owen Chipaleski is player A on 45. It's Julie Harrison delivering a strike on 43. She is player C. Carla Allsgood will be up on 45 next. She will be player E this game. Mei-Ling Billingsley will be player D on 46. She is up on the approach right now. You can see her to the far right of your screen. So there's our quick rundown of 45 and 46. Lynn Lozee up on 44. She'll be player B. Currently on lane of 43 is Kim Bradley Hannon. She's going to take care of the spare in the first. She'll be player D. And player A will be Kim Crompton. Kim will be up on lane of 43 momentarily. Those are our featured competitors for this game. We'll see them for game 2 before they move on to their next respective pairs. Oh, good run there by Carla. Thought she was going to get just enough of that 7-pin. 6-pin needed a little bit more oomph, though. Good attempt, Carla. Julie Harrison joining us all the way from Australia. Talked to my buddy Tony from England, who had the opportunity to meet at the World Bowling Senior Championships back in 2015 when it was held here in Las Vegas. Just talking about the flight over. It's at 11.5 hours to get to Vegas from England. Not sure if that's the longest trip, but definitely cool to have some international flavor in the field this year. As we mentioned, England, Australia, Panama, all in the field. Canada as well. For those of you just joining us, this is opening round coverage of the 2018 USBC Senior Queens taking place at Gold Coast in Las Vegas. I'm Aaron Smith with USBC Communications, and we will be bringing you wire-to-wire coverage of the 2018 event until we crown our champion from the stepladder finals on Sunday night starting at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. So we got a weekend full of bowling. We were in 4 locations last weekend for the collegiate kids as the intercollegiate singles and team championships sectional qualifiers were taking place at 4 destinations around the country. Now this week in Las Vegas for the top players ages 50 and older. We are located behind lanes 43 through 46, so if you scroll down a little bit in the description area below the video, you'll see a note that says find results and more here. You can go ahead and click on that link and you'll be able to find not only the results throughout the week, the lane pattern, 41 feet out there this week. You'll also be able to find a lane schedule so you can see who will be joining us throughout the course of the week, so you can see your favorite players right here on Bowl TV. Nice shot there from Debbie. Bad break with the 7-10 in the second frame. Left no doubt there in the fourth. Beth looking for 3 in a row. Is able to get him to mix up. All right, just taking a look around at a pretty low scoring pace last year in Baton Rouge at Circle Bowl. I believe it took a 172 or 173 average to make top 32. I think that's going to be a little bit different this year. Seeing some folks striking here in the early going. Only had 1 player plus after qualifying last year. As we already mentioned, we've seen some big numbers out there. Sharon Powers, I want to say, shot 280 the first game as soon as we verify that for sure. Beth is a two-time women's championships titleist. Far right of your screen. The singles and all events title. The 1995 event. Talking about the women's championships, Jackie Wyckoff, as well as several of her teammates from the 2012 Scratch Team Champion. Coefficient of friction in the field this week. Capture that title at the just a bit north of us, National Bowling Stadium in Reno, Nevada. Also in the field from that team, Terry Steins and Kimberly Power. This year's Women's Championships returns to Reno for the 99th edition. Which will be starting up in just about a month, April 19th. The first day for that event, the USBC Open Championships, which will take place in Syracuse, New York, will be starting in 8 days. So we'll be here before you know it. Matt Cannizzaro already located in Salt City. Has ate most of the pizza, from what I've been told, but they will continue to make more. From Mike in the chat, definitely a variety of bowling styles here. Absolutely. It's one of the great parts of the game. So any way you can do it, as long as you're consistent, that's the key. So being able to repeat shots, especially on these tougher conditions like we're facing here this week. Players will be tested throughout the course of the day. As we mentioned, we do have a second block of qualifying starting at 5 p.m. Eastern, so there will be no re-oil. So it will be up to the players to navigate this pattern as it transitions. Definitely going to see some traffic out there, so players will be forced to test their versatility. They're able to change on the bowling ball as Beth gets the hit of the 10. Of course, you can go to the bag and change up equipment throughout the course of a block, but also having the other tools to use, whether it's being able to consistently vary ball speed, change your axis rotation, your tilt, and able to find the right look to consistently carry. Good afternoon, Kelly. Good afternoon, everybody joining us here on Bowl TV. We appreciate the continued support. Nice shot by Kim there on 43. We will be here for every round of the 2018 Senior Queens. If you can't happen to catch it all this weekend, be sure to check out the archive when you're all said and done, and of course subscribe to Bowl TV when you can, if you haven't done so already. Lynn's able to mix them up there in the 5th. As we start to hit the back half of game 2. All right, now we had a question or two about scores in the chat, and the results are actually up after the first game. So the quick way to get there from here on YouTube is just to go below the video and look in the description area. We have a link right there. But Sharon Powers, as we mentioned, big 280 to kick things off. She is one pair to our left right now. Has an opportunity to go 247 this game. So Sharon finding the right look out of Lakewood, Colorado. Debbie Ayers on our featured pair, 246. Melanie McAllister, 243. And Julie Harrison, also on our featured pair, 241. Barb Demorst, 238. Della Kallenbach, 232. Paula Vidal, 230. Kim Power, 228. Sharon Aronson, 227. And Linda Kelly, 223. So we are seeing some scores here in the early going. Tish specifically in 24th right now with a 207. So a total of 30 players, even or better after game one. You can also go to bowl.com. Good way to find some information. We actually changed out the banner, so right when you go on the page, that's the first thing you'll see is a picture of our defending champion, Lucy Sandlin. You can click on that link. That'll take you right to the results page. You can also type in bowl.com/Senior Queens to get to the main page for everything Senior Queens related, including a full look at the schedule, tournament information, and more. Check out the prize fund there. So we have a fan of Gianna Miles, and yes, one pair to our right. Let's see when we have her making her way to our featured pairs. Find her on the sheet here. Looks like we will have her the very last game of the day. So we have 2 rounds coming up today, and Gianna and Cindy McBride will be here for game 10 overall of the 2018 event. Last game of round 2. They'll be on 43 and 44. Good news for you, Kelly. Asking if Tish Johnson is coming to any of the featured pairs today, and yes, we actually have her next game. She'll be on 45 and 46. So don't go too far. Game 3 is going to be here before you know it. Debbie looking for 3 in a row. Playing pretty far outside, gets in the mix-up. She sets up her 10th frame. .246 once again for Debbie in the opener, 2nd overall here in the early going. The thing about this event that you'll hear from folks is, you know, it's kind of built up of being 2 separate events. So you have the qualifying aspect and then all pinfall drops. So it's just used for seeding for the bracket, and then anything can happen in a 3-game match. So therein lies the challenge of managing both aspects of it. The longer marathon, if you will, of 15 games to earn a spot in the next round, and then being able to control what happens in the quick 3-game matches with total pinfall,
2 pieces of tape.
determining
That's all I'm asking.
who stays in the winner's bracket. For Brian in the chat, you may need to refresh once or twice. I'm seeing it live here using Firefox, so I did have to refresh a few times, but it is up. It's again from the results page. If you click on qualifying round 1, that will take you there. Beth Owen Chipileski. A nice 7-bagger. In the middle of game 2 here, she steps up in the 10th with a chance to get to 269. Start off with a 216 in the opener. So can quickly get to better than plus 80. The big 10th frame. And Julie had a nice first game as well. Fortunately going the wrong way here in game 2, but can still get to 179, stay plus after 2 games. Shot from Debbie to kick off the 10th, but unable to connect with the 10 pin. Cover it up and get to 206 still. Going to finish up at 154. Julie can get to 179. Beth 258. $206 for Debbie. Nice 257 for Beth. She's going to be better than plus 70 here after 2. Lynn Losey, 3 in a row. Still get to 178. Kim Bradley Hannon. Able to mix up the first one. Cover that up, get to 148. Jackie Wyckoff working on a spare as a max of 190. Mei Ling Billingsley strike in the 9th. Looking at a few more, max out at 166. Let's take a look at game 3, who's going to be joining us here. The way the schedule is kind of written up, we'll grab people here and there as we find them on the sheet. So Penny Fenneman and Debbie Colby. Oh wait, looking at the helps if I look at the right round. They'll be here next round and in game 4, so we'll see them twice, but not in game 3. So on 43 and 44, we'll have Evelyn Green and Karen Holder. 45 and 46, Heidi Pagenkoff and Linda Bradshaw. We have more people coming, I promise. Looks like Lorraine Fast and Adissa Andrade on 43 and 44. Tish, are you bowling on 45 and 6 next?
Yes, I am.
We have Tish Johnson, along with Angie Brown, joining us on a 45 and 46.
Yes, I had to double check. We're good to go.
Good to go. The Hall of Famer is ready. Carla kicks off the 10th with a strike. Looking to find some late momentum here. All right, Carla finishes up 118. That'll do it for game number 2. Wasting no time getting into game 3, so we'll be halfway through this opening block before you know it. It's Evelyn Green getting things kicked off on 44. Lorraine Fast will be up first on 43. So Evelyn will be player C, Lorraine player A. Nice shot there, Lorraine. Adissa Andrade made our stepladder finals last year. Get our first look at her up on lane 43. She'll be player B. joining us from Panama, kicks things off with a strike. And then Karen Holder will be player D on 43 and 44. Karen up for her first shot of game 3. Tish Johnson, Hall of Famer. Classic stylings, 10 back. Will be player A on lane 45. Having a little fun out there already. Heidi Pegenkoff. Player C, Linda Bradshaw. Player D, and Angie Brown from England will be player B. Again, we'd like to thank our gold industry partners for their continued support of these great USBC short duration events like the Senior Queens, Brunswick, Columbia 300, Ebonite Hammer, Kegel, Rotogrip, and Storm. Kegel providing us with the oil condition this week, 41 feet in length, 25.5 mils using the Kegel Fire Oil. Question about where Mei Ling is bowling next. She's actually going to be on lanes 51 and 52 now. So we will not see her the rest of this round here on the Bowl TV cameras. We actually will see her in tomorrow morning's block during game 4 on 43 and 44. I'm afraid that was the last game today. Competitors do move every game. They are staying with the folks on their pairs. So for instance, on 45 and 46, Tish and Angie will be crossing, but they'll have new folks joining them every game. So players will have the ability to cross and follow different people. Tish Johnson, the 25-time PWBA Tour titleist, 2-time Player of the Year. Has had quite a run here at the Senior Queens, starting with her first trip in 2012 when she made the stepladder finals, finished 4th. Then backed that up with 4 consecutive runner-up finishes. Had a rough year last year. Bowing out in the second round of the contenders bracket, finishing tied for 17th. So I'm sure that is on her mind as well, and of course the coveted tiara as well. Definitely one of the best out there. Always great to see Tish, get to talk for a little bit, catch up. Of course, getting to watch her perform on the lanes, always a treat as well. Linda Bradshaw up on lane 46 as part of the highest 5-player team series in USBC history back in 2016. Part of a team that included Jay Bradshaw, Jana Luden, Jim Luden, John Bogacki Jr., and Linda. Shot a 39.86. This was in St. Louis. Linda fired a 760 set in that series. Jay had 826, Jana 805, Jim 801, and John a 794 to go along with Linda's 760. That's a lot of striking, 39.86. That still is the record as of today as well. So a record holder, Linda Bradshaw. That's exactly what she did that night. Great shot. First strike of game number 3. For Linda Bradshaw. Looks like we have a ball change coming from Tish here. And able to mix them up in the 4th. question from Jody in the chat. What weight balls are our competitors using? Well, to be honest, I don't know, to be totally truthful with you, but I would say majority, probably in the 14 to 15 pound range. I wouldn't think would be much lower than that. Maybe one or two players still using 16, but I'd say a majority in the 14 to 15 pound range. Talked a little bit about Adissa making the stepladder finals in 2017 in Baton Rouge. We had Robin Romeo on during our first game, and Adissa was the player to stop her run of 3 consecutive Senior Queens titles. Robin had been sent to the elimination bracket. Made her way all the way back to the stepladder finals, but wasn't able to defeat Adissa in an exciting opening match of the stepladder finals. So they actually tied in the first game. Let's see, it was 194 to 194. They matched each other for the first 2 shots in the sudden death roll-off. And then Adissa edged Robin on the final round, or the third round. They would have kept going, but 7 to 6. So that was some early excitement. Stepladder finals. We'll eagerly await to see who will be making the top 5 this year. As Karen delivers the strike on 43. Game 3 of 5, the opening round of qualifying at the 2018 USBC Senior Queens. We are at Gold Coast in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm Aaron Smith. We will have wire-to-wire coverage, as well as a second round of qualifying today. I have a quick lunch break. We'll be back in the lanes at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 local time, for the second 5-game block. Scores now updated through 2 games. Sharon Powers continues to lead with 5:02 for her first 2 games, so 2:51 clip for Sharon. Beth Owen Chipileski sits in second, 4:73. We saw her last game. Leanne Holstenberg, 4:69 in third. Sharon Aronson in fourth, 4:63. Penny Fetterman, 4:58. Debbie Ayers, 4:51. Tish Johnson, 4:42. Kim Power, 4:36. Evelyn Green on her feature pair as well, 4:32. And Sandy Simchin, 4:29, rounding out your top 10. Total of 25 players, even or better, after 2 games. One pair to our left, Michelle Carter has started off with 7 consecutive strikes. We'll keep an eye on her. Unfortunately, the mention of it alone was enough to cause her not to carry that 4-pin one lane to our left on 42. Michelle, past national Golden Ladies champion. She's at 381 after 2 games, so even without the strike, off to a good run here in game 3, looking to get on the right side of plus. Hi, John, how are you doing? Thanks for joining us. Doing very well here. Can't ask for much more on a Friday morning in Las Vegas, Nevada. Hope all is well in your world, too. So Michelle covered the spare in the 8th. Can still shoot 279 this game. Keep you up to date as she prepares to wrap up in game 3. Angie Brown working on a double. Just getting ready for her 9th frame. Joining us all the way from England. Nice shot there, mixes them up for 3 in a row. Nice shot from Evelyn as well. Well, John, if you're at the Masters, be sure to say hi. We'll be up there in Syracuse. As actually my next destination is Karen sends all 10 back. We'll get back to the Dallas-Fort Worth area on Monday. And we'll start driving on Tuesday for Salt City to join Matt Cannizzaro in preparation for the start of the Open Championships. So exciting a few weeks here. We had the intercollegiate singles and team championships sectional qualifiers last weekend. I was in Stratford, New Jersey for that. Las Vegas this weekend. Syracuse next week. Tish kicks off at the 10th with a strike. 209 her mark score. Heidi can cover the baby split. Still get to 189. No problem there. Tish fighting the good fight this game. Not fighting the hits, but finds the double in the 10th. Tish did make another ball change. Trying a few different things in the bag and found the right look here. Moving on, all three in the 10th. For 209, Heidi finished up with 187. Linda Bradshaw, max score of 199. And for Angie Brown, 249. Still available. Ready for the 10th frame in a moment on 43 and 44. So as we get there, let's see if we can figure out who's going to be joining us next here on Bowl TV. Looks like on 43 and 44, we'll have Shar Hamill and Yolanda Garrett. On 45 and 46, Penny Fetterman and Debbie Colby. Let's see who else we'll have. On 43 and 44, we'll also have Carmen Aguilar and Karen Medellin. And then on 45 and 46, Marcy Williams and Kelly Crucial. We have seen some big games here in the early going, but Carey has definitely not been easy, though, to consistently get the hits. But when you throw it that good, you don't have to worry about it. Great shot, Angie. Now in the 240s. Wrap up game number 3, 248 from Angie Brown leading the way. 209 from the Hall of Famer Tish Johnson. Once again, want to thank our gold industry partners, Brunswick, Columbia 300, Ebonite, Hammer, Kegel, Roto Grip, and Storm for their continued support of USBC events. Of course, good folks here at Gold Coast. Mike Hoffman and his crew. Always great. We get to work with Mike quite a bit, so always accommodating, always takes care of us and makes sure we are good to go. And of course, our staff here on site. Kathy Watka, Kathy Prang, Richard Payne, and our tournament director, soon to be inducted USBC Hall of Famer, Tennille Milligan. Tough break for Odessa to kick off the 10th 4-9 split. See if Karen can get to 195. That one's going to have to hustle back, though. So she's going to have the washout to look up. All right, some of our competitors already making their way, so it should be a pretty quick transition into game 4. That will do it for game 3 here on Bowl TV. So once again, we'll have a break after game 5. The lanes will sit. Players will get a chance to get some lunch, rest up in preparation for games 6 through 10. So we'll have 2 full blocks in the books here on Bowl TV at Gold Coast. Our host of the 2018 USBC Senior Queens. Game 4 coming up next. Opening round of qualifying here on Bowl TV. All right, we are having some work done on lane 43, so our competitors will wait for just a moment till the team here at Gold Coast gets things squared away. But game 4 already underway on 45 and 46. We have Debbie Colby stepping up on a 45, looking to cover the 245. She's player B on the scoreboard. Kelly Cruchel started off with a strike. She'll be player D. She'll be up on 46 momentarily. Let's see her to the far right of your screen. There's Kelly. Makes it 2 for 2. Marcy Williams will be player C. She'll be up on 45. They passed USBC board member. Marcy also a very good bowler in her own right. The final pair, our player on the pair is Penny Fentiman. She'll be player A on the scoreboard. She'll be up on 46 momentarily. Get to see her in just a moment to the far right of your screen. There's Penny. See some good conversation going on in the chat room. Cindy Coburn Carroll. We actually saw Cindy a few months ago here in Las Vegas at the Team USA trials. Got to chat with her for a little bit. She was actually there watching her daughter compete. So that was pretty cool, getting a chance to see the next generation of that great bowling family. Tournament director Tennille Milligan overseeing the repairs on 43 and 44 back here, so these players will get an opportunity to probably get a warm-up shot or two. Prior to starting game 4. Definitely enjoy the conversation in the chat about the great array of talent that will somehow be eligible to compete in this event soon. I don't know how. Hopefully we'll get to see a few of these players make their way out here. The more, the merrier, of course. 81 competitors in the field this week. Powerful strike from Penny. Gives her a double in the fourth and the fifth.
I'm watching this and I'm seeing Marcy going for a deep stare. Pretty
All right, we might be all set on 43. We'll see if these players get a minute or two of practice or not, or have to correct the score, I believe, up there. Great shot there from Marcy. Tough break with the 9. John, thanks for stopping by. Definitely will see you in Syracuse. Question from Judy in the chat room about why we're no longer holding the Senior Queens with the women's championships, and I think it was a combination of things, but the opportunity to partner up with another great event, the National Golden Ladies Classic. Give these competitors the opportunity to really have one nice long bowling trip. And we can see that in the numbers here. These entries went up by about 25 to 30 from last year. So players taking advantage of the opportunity to compete in both events. All right, just for some clarification, since the breakdown was not longer than 10 minutes, players do not get any warm-up, so they are bowling for score. We'll not have to correct scores. Carmen Aguilar is up on a 44. She is player A on the scoreboard. Char Hamill, the 2010 Senior Queens champion, delivered a strike. She is player C. Yolanda Garrett will be player D. those letters might be irrelevant right now. I'm not sure if they're discussing who started on what lane, so to kneel down there to get everything situated. The regular Queens will still be held with the Women's Championships in 2018. Will be taking place in Reno, Nevada at the National Bowling Stadium from May 16th to 22nd. To the 22nd, I should say. And it is the first major as part of the 2018 Professional Women's Bowling Association Tour. So it does appear we started on the wrong lane on 43 and 44 for everyone. So getting those scores corrected right now. Already in the 7th frame of game 4 over on 45 and 46. Moving right along. So the USBC rule for instances like this, if you bowl on the wrong lane, you get a strike, you have to re-bowl the frame on the correct lane. If you get a spare, you have to shoot at the spare and complete it as a normal frame, then go back to your normal rotation. So that's why Carmen got to keep her 7th spare as player C. But Shar and Yolanda with strikes will have to reshoot their first frames. Our 4th is Karen Medellin. Leaves a 4-pin on her first offering on lane 43. She will be player D on the scoreboard. Shar player A, Carmen C, and Yolanda player B. Nice shot there, 3 in a row. Debbie Colby. Great shot in the 7th there from Kelly. Rings the 10. So now back to business on 43 and 44. They will be in the correct order now. But we'll be a few frames behind everyone else. It looks like our competitors on 45 and 46 actually bowling a little bit quicker than the pace right now. Nice shot there from Shar. Looks like most folks around the 5th frame right now, at least in our immediate viewing area. one-stop shop for all Senior Queens information, bowl.com/Senior Queens. We have a link in the description below the video to find results, lane pattern, lane schedule, and more. Another quick way of getting there is going to just bowl.com, our main homepage, and right there in the slider to kick things off, you'll see our picture of our defending champion, Lucy Sandlin. You can just click on there and that will take you to the same page to where you can find all the information. Carmen gets that 8-pin out. Says that's the first double, time to celebrate. All right. Saving it for the cameras. One more game to go in the opening block after this one before our competitors will take a short break before they're back on the lanes for round 2 of qualifying, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 local time here in Las Vegas. All right, we had some runs at big scores. Tish Johnson actually started off with the front 10 before leaving an 8 count on her second shot of the 10th. Leanne Holsenberg had a chance to get to 290 as well. So business about to pick up here in the back half of the first round. Scores are updated after 3 now. Sharon Powers continues to lead 739 per 3-game total. Started with a 280 game. Leanne Holsenberg moves into second, 696. Kim Power in third, 670. Sharon Aronson in fourth, a 655. Debbie Wade and Shandy Simchin, Antish Johnson, and Petty Fenneman all tied at fifth with a 651. Beth Owen Chipoleski in ninth, a 650, and Michelle Kessler rounds out the top 10 with 648. Total of 21 players, better than plus. After a 3, we have a slight breakdown on 43, so our competitors already in the books on 45 and 46. Beyond the halfway point, now on 43 and 44. Coming up on 45 and 46. Next game, we will have Cheryl Kessler and Tanya Spalding. Along with Lori Lanifer and Karen Rowe. So as soon as they finish up game 4, they'll be heading over. Still the final few frames on 43 and 44. Karen Medellin getting ready to step up on lane 43. Char Hamill looking to take care of the 10-pin Yolanda Garrett and Carmen Aguilar. Just about ready for the foundation frame on 43 and 44. Good shot there by Karen, but that 7-pin just too mean. Doesn't cooperate. Looks like we are ready to roll on 45 and 46. Starting game 5 over on 45 and 46. Kick things off with Cheryl Kessler, who just missed the stepladder finals in 2017. 6th place finish. Karen Rowe delivers a strike on 46. Tana Spalding is up on 45. And Lori Lanifer will be our 4th. She already started with a strike. 10th frame underway on 43 and 44. The 2010 champion up first. Pair of 10 pins to start the 10th frame on 43 and 44. No problem for Shar. She can still shoot 218 this game. Carmen with the conversion can get to 211. Yolanda will be working on a double. And Cheryl mixes them up. Shar finishes with a nice 217. Carmen puts the finishing touches on a nice game there. 211. 238 still out there for Yolanda. And Karen can get to 173 with all 3 in the 10th. had a handful of past champions in the field this week. Talked about Shar winning in 2010. Paula Vidal, the 2011 champion, or 2007, 2013, and defending champion Lucy Sandelin. And the 2014, 2015, and 2016 champion Robin Romeo. Senior Queens kicked off its first event back in 2000. Rose Smith, the champion there. Her Rose actually lives here in Las Vegas, so cool if she stopped on by and said hello to everyone. .216 finish for Yolanda Garrett. Karen will finish up with 161, so we'll get all pairs into game number 5 now. This block has quickly moved along. A few folks already ready to go here, including our 2011 champion, Paula Vidal, Della Kallenbeck, Deb Lee. Then Roseanne Costanzo should be our 4th competitor. Over on 43-4. Once again, scores available through 3 at the moment. As soon as we have them up through 4, we'll let you know. Sharon Powers continues to lead through 3, 7:39. Started off with a 280. And so definitely a change in scoring pace from what we saw last year. As we talked about a little bit earlier in the broadcast, the scores were a little bit tougher to come by over at Circle Bowl in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Took about a 172 average to make the cut to match play. Only one player was plus, our eventual champion Lucy Sandlin, after the 15 games of qualifying. Here's our first look at Della. It's a nice shot there, mixes them up. Deborah Lee from Canada going to be up on 44. Roseanne Costanzo, 43. Hitting the halfway point over on 45 and 46. These 81 players have the opportunity to kind of reevaluate how this opening block went. As mentioned, we'll have probably about a 2.5 hour break before they're back on the lanes. Give or take. Lee's bowling for score for sure. So a chance to kind of refocus. Obviously, a scoring pace a little bit higher than what we've seen in previous years, or specifically last year. So maybe your senior ball get to the pocket quite a bit, but carry has been the issue, or maybe you're just waiting for the lanes to open up a little bit, play to your strengths. Could be part of it as well. Obviously, we're not going to have a re-oil coming up, so the lanes will sit. We'll get another practice, or warm-up session, excuse me, before we start up. So the Kegel lane machine has the rest of the day off. Rosanna player we saw for the first time last year. Sneaks by that 2-pin, but had a nice showing in 2017. Making it to match play, but dropped her first 2 matches. Cheryl Kessler getting ready to step up on lane 46. She is the head bowling coach at Baker University. So the Baker season wrapped up not too long ago. So now Cheryl out on the lanes. Probably trying to take some of that great knowledge she passed along to her student athletes and apply it here today. It's coming right of target her last 2 shots on lane 46, however. Lost shot in the 4th and leaves the 2-pin in the 6th. Chat has slowed down a bit, as Steven mentioned, but if you do have any questions, please feel free to drop those in there. We'll do our best to answer them. Feel free to have your questions ready throughout. Competition here at the 2018 event taking place at the Gold Coast Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. Very, very close to the Las Vegas Strip. Quick drive. Just have to cross 15 and bam, you're there. Paula showing off after that one. She trips out the 5 and the 7 ever so delicately. Call that the senior strike she just mentioned over here. Brian in the chat asks how many players are in the field this week. We have a total of 81 competitors age 50 and older in this week's event. We also have a super senior portion of the event after qualifying, so we take a total of 32 players to the double elimination match play bracket at the conclusion of 15 games of qualifying. And for players out of the cut, the top 8 in super seniors will advance to an extra bracket with a little extra prize money in it. We initially would pay out the top super seniors who did not cash. But these players said, hey, you know, if we're going to do that, why don't we toss a few more games? So they will do that tomorrow at the end of the day during our final rounds. Just one game matches in that to determine essentially the champion for that. So prize money will be based off of where players finish in that versus just where they finished in qualifying. So a chance to potentially improve. And a little more bowling too along the way, always fun. For the main Senior Queens field, once they get to the match play bracket, it'll be 31 players and our defending champion Lucy Sandelin. Those matches will be best of 3 with a total series determining who advances or who has to go to the contenders bracket. And since we are not actually televised for the finals, this format will feature a true double elimination final. So if you are the top seed for the step ladder on Sunday, you have to be defeated twice in that format. Paul makes it 3 out of 4. Having some fun with us here. Standings now up through 4, and we talked about Leanne Holzenberg having an opportunity to shoot 290. Well, she came pretty darn close, 289 for the USBC Hall of Famer. Now leads the way with 985. Tish Johnson, who had 288, moved into second, 939. Sharon Powers drops to third, 937. Michelle Carter, 907 in fourth. Kimberly Power, 873 in fifth. Melanie McAllister, 868 in sixth. Penny Fetterman, 863. We had her on last game. She is tied with Beth Owen Chipileski at 863. Robin Romeo, 3-time champion, 9th, 852. And Debbie Wade rounds out the top 10 with 850. So Leanne jumps into the lead, the Senior Queens rookie. So let's just see if she can hold on. Has about 46 pins ahead of the field at the moment. All right, taking a look around the center. Looks like Char Hamill, our 2010 champ, is up to 8 consecutive strikes to start this game, so we'll keep an eye on her. If we have to run down there for her 10th frame, we will do that. Unfortunately, a little bit too far away from the cameras to capture. But she'll be up in the 9th frame momentarily. Everybody striking over here. Both Paula and Deborah making it 4 in a row. Starting the foundation frame on a 45 and 46. Our tournament leader through 4, Leanne Holsenberg. Her scoring pace is going to go down a little bit this game. She can max out at 205 if she's able to strike out the 10th frame. So be sure to take a look at the Sport of Bowling USBC on Facebook, at USBC on Twitter. At the end of the block, we'll have a quick note about our tournament leader through 5. Maybe if Char keeps striking, we'll have a video of her performance. Be sure to look out for an update though, and of course we'll be back for the second round of qualifying, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 local time here in Las Vegas. right, some late game excitement. Char Hamill front at 10 to start before leaving the 2.457 on her second shot of the 10th. Finishes with 285. We are using lanes at 27 through 66 here, so
What's going on with her score?
attempting to
Wrong lane again?
keep an eye on everything going on. All done on 45 and 46. So our final few shots here coming along. Definitely a quick pace here at the 2018 Senior Queens. A lot of strikes being thrown. So this 5-game block going to be done before you know it. Just a few more frames to go before we're going to take a break, let the cameras rest up. These competitors will get some lunch and we will be ready for their second 5-game block. Once again, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 local time here in Las Vegas. So if you happen to be out here, you know, it's Friday, lunchtime coming up. You really don't want to work the second half of the day. I would just let your boss know, hey, I'm taking the rest of the day off. Swing by Gold Coast. Check it out. Watch some of the top players ages 50 and older do what they do best. An exciting opening block. We've had a few runs at 300, some big scores, some big names at the top of the standings. I promise there'll be even more coming up in that second block. So it'll be right around 2.5 hour break for us. But as mentioned, we certainly hope you make your way back for the conclusion of today's competition. 10 games will be in the books. 2/3 of the way to the 15 qualifying games before we know our top 32 heading to match play. Nice shot there by Paula to set up the foundation frame. She's putting together a nice game. So it's 259 out there. She's able to put up 3 more strikes. Deborah Lee, chance to get to 237 here as she prepares for her 10th frame. Looks like our final few pairs will be wrapping up right around the same time. Only a few left to go here. Nice shot by Deb, keeping her angles fairly direct here. She's got a little bit more ball speed than most of the field here, so she's able to keep those lines pretty well in front of her. Roseanne, nice shot. Kick off the 10th. She can get to 201. Take him when you can get him, Deb. Gets a nice break. Turns it into a double 230s. Now out there for Deborah Lee, joining us from Canada. And delivered a double in the 10th as well, so could count to get to 200. Nice, 237. All three in the 10th for Roseanne as well. 201 finish. Paula hoping to do the same to get to 259. For Della, max score 203. Question in the chat, is the next squad going to be on fresh oil again, or is it the burn? It will be the burn, so no re-oil. Another 15 minutes of warm-up, and then go time. So we'll get to see the ranges of these players and versatility. See how they attack the condition. Now that's seen some traffic in a few games. It's going to have to hold. If she finds it, this is it's an impressive 10th frame all around so far. Roseanne and Deborah in the books with all three in the 10th. Dell looking to add one more. There we go. How about that? Nice finish here on Bowl TV. Paul looking to finish at 259. Nice game, Paula. Waving to the thousands and thousands of Paula Vidal fans out there. And Della. Let's see if we can complete the perfect 10th frame. And for 203. It's got a chance. Hey, there we go. 10th frame bowlers here on 43 and 44. 4 competitors. 12 shots, 12 strikes. How about that? That's a Team 300 game right there. That might be something new I just created, but I like it, so I'm going to go with it. All right, folks, that's going to conclude the opening round of coverage here at the 2018 USBC Senior Queens. 5 games in the books, but we'll be back for 5 more games in about 2.5 hours. 5 p.m. Eastern start. 2 local time here at Gold Coast in Las Vegas. So that's going to do it for now. So on behalf of our gold partners, Brunswick, Columbia 300, Ebonite, Hammer, Kegel, Rotogroup, and Storm. The staff here at Gold Coast, Mike Hoffman and his crew always do a great job. Our tournament staff on site, Tennille Milligan, Kathy Pring, Kathy Waka, and Richard Payne. I'm Aaron Smith with USBC Communications. We're going to take a quick break before the second round of action gets underway. Once again, at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 local time here in Las Vegas. We'll have wire-to-wire coverage of the 2018 Senior Queens here on Bowl TV. And on your way out, please give us a click on the thumbs up as well as subscribe when you can. All right, folks, we'll see you soon. Don't go too far, and keep an eye on the Sport of Bowling USBC Facebook and at USBC on Twitter for an update after round 1. Well, that's going to do it. Signing off. We'll see you in just 2.5 hours here on Bowl TV. Thanks again for stopping by.